In this video, I will not be providing you with the perfect fence building solution. I cannot figure it out. I have not been able to come up with any single idea that will work everywhere. So what I did in this video was came up with a solution that could be used with future repairs in mind. So if we build the fence, understanding that we could have possible damage to the wood fence in the future, and maybe make it to where the posts are going to be a little easier to replace in other parts of the fence, then we might be onto something. It's kind of like trying to figure out something that, trying to solve a problem that just isn't going to be solvable. And that, of course, would be the rotting of the wood in the concrete or in the soil. That's just something that just seems inevitable in some areas. But I think we can build the fence with the thought in mind that it might need to be repaired in the future. And how can we actually make these repairs a little easier? The first thing we need to do will be to no longer pour a concrete foundation, a concrete post footing around a wood post that is going to be difficult to remove. Now, if we just pour this concrete around the wood post, it's going to be difficult to remove the wood post, and it's going to be difficult to replace the wood post because most wood posts are not going to be the same size. So if you could somehow find a smaller post, it's probably going to fit, but that just doesn't seem to happen. So in order to prevent that, we will need to add a couple of pieces of wood, plastic, metal, whatever you think you can use to create a larger hole to pour the concrete footing around. So by simply adding two pieces to the sides, and you can add these pieces to all four sides if you want, but I think two pieces should be enough. And this will create a larger hole, and in that hole we will be able to slide a new fence post in rather easily. And I'm not suggesting that we're always going to be able to remove the fence post without much effort. If a strong wind comes up and blows the fence post down and breaks it off right here, that's not going to be an easy post to remove unless somehow you've created some spacers that can be pulled out. And you might be able to do this with some type of plastic, and I haven't came up with a solution for that. This is actually something I've done. I've put scrap pieces of wood next to these and replaced the fence post, and with relatively little effort. This allows us to reuse the concrete footing, this method, if you can remove the post without a lot of effort. That's kind of what I'm saying. So if the post is rotted, it's going to probably be easier to remove. If strong wind comes up and blows the fence over and breaks it off right here, you're going to be drilling some holes in the bottom of the wood. This will not be easy to remove. So this is not a fix-all solution for every single problem you're going to have with your wood fence. Now here's a solution I didn't think of. Someone else left this on my channel one day, and I thought it was a great idea. They used some type of vinyl fence post covering, something that can slide over a 4x4, and they installed it inside of a concrete footing. And it might not need to run all the way through. I'll leave it up to you whether you're going to encase the post in the concrete or leave it through like this. I mean, if you have it coming through like this, you know, the bottom of this can rot, but the sides might not be rotting as easy, is kind of my point with this. I really like this idea, but it's going to be a little pricey. You know, I think these pieces were around $20 a piece, and you could cut it up into sections, whatever sections you're going to need, but how much money that's going to add to your fence building project, or whether it's going to be worth it or not, I will leave that up to you. This is just another suggestion. As far as the rest of the fence is concerned, I would suggest using screws whenever you possibly could to attach anything to any other component, including the wood post. I mean, let's face it, if you had to remove the wood post and it was built this way, you're going to need to be able to push the top of the fence over a little bit so you can get the new post in. Or you might, if it blows, let's just say it blew a section, strong wind come up and blew a section of the fence over, you're going to have a fence laying on the ground. You can just start taking screws out, and some of these boards will be salvageable. You'll be able to replace sections of the fencing by simply taking the screws off and pulling the fence boards off and then reattaching them to any boards that have been destroyed in some way. So screws going into the top railing, down into the post, screws attaching the fencing to the railing, screws used like you would nails in any way, and you could always pre-drill holes if you have a difficult time putting them in at an angle. Another view of it there. Galvanized screws would be pretty good, or something that isn't going to rust. And then you can always use straps too. And I have nails here because it would have took me a little while to put screws in. But even if you did use nails for something like this, I would imagine it'd be easy to pull it out. But again, screws are going to work better. Let's use screws on these fences. If you can. If you need to use nails, I got you. You're just going to have to pull the nails to do the repairs. A strap across the top, strap on the side. And again, this is just an option. You could just put a couple of long screws in here and be done with it. No strap would be necessary. You could use some type of framing anchors, again, to attach the railing to the post. And that is it for this video. So again, if you're going to build a fence and we just can't do anything about the post rotting, other parts of the fence, you live in an area where you're replacing your fence every 10 or 15 years, this might work out great for you. You live in an area with high winds and sections of your fence get blown over, again, this might be a great solution. And you can always use a combination of these ideas with your own to create a stronger fence, or one that would be easier to be repaired also. So anyway, that is it for the video. Hope it helps.